there's something interesting that I've noticed, which is like, okay, so art is how you change culture, right? And also leading by example. And what I've noticed is we brought this up before, but anime was not a cool thing when you were younger.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not too sure why. It was just like nobody, I don't know, like it was so fringe and people thought you were a loser. But then now if you're like, oh, I like anime, everyone's like, oh, dude, yo, that's cool. I was even rolling with this dude at jujitsu, young kid, and he had a Demon Slayer t-shirt on. And they were rolling. I'm like, oh, nice shirt. And he like almost didn't hear me.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, oh yeah, this guy's not gonna know, whatever. And I'm like, and then we're rolling. I'm like, Demon Slayer, and he's like, oh, haha. And then we like kind of bonded over that, like chuckled over it, you know.
Right.
It's like, it's like it's like a counterculture cool thing now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Okay, so let me bring this up to you as well. Asian people are really into hip hop culture.
Okay.
Eddie Wong, you know Eddie Wong?
Yeah, the name is familiar. I don't get the image of him.
He's
yeah.
like, so he's like a chef, and he's like,
Oh yeah.
grew up in the Bronx. You know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah,
Gold Chain. He was on like Hot Ones. He's pretty popular. He was on Vice.
Yeah. Okay.
Remember that? Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah, you know they right. So Eddie Wong, way back when he was still on Vice, it was like years ago. He was talking about why he's so like urban culture-y, you know. Even his bow shop, we went to it in New York, and it's like super skater, super hip hop, right? And he's saying how for Asian people, we don't really speak up to our oppressors, but we're obviously oppressed, right? Like we're all oppressed by the colonization. I don't know how else to put that, right? And he was saying that they gravitated towards hip hop culture because it was a means to speak like with more bravado, and like we're not that bad just because we're colored, whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's Asians going to like the hip hop culture, right? And then the opposite is true because RZA, you know, Wu-Tang Clan,
Yeah.
right? So RZA was super into kung fu movies.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a vice versa thing. Like Asian people were really into hip hop culture because it like allowed you to speak with like strength.
Sure.
And then the kung fu movies and the anime were like an overt expression of that because you're always fighting.
Mm-hmm.
You're like literally just fighting kung fu and stuff, right? And both sides like black people like Asians for that, Asian people like black people for that, right? And it kind of got me thinking like that's why we're exploding in this anime realm now, because hip hop got already really popular, and then like, okay, what else is there? And then you start finding out like, oh, black people really like anime, you know, like Stylebender, for example, as an example, right? And he starts repping anime a lot, and then him doing it makes it cool for everyone else, and that's how you change culture.
Sure, yeah.
By like through art, because you change like the way people think. You know, NWA when they first came out, like F the police,
yeah,
right? And then they were like just speaking about what they saw, and then exemplarship, like you rep it to the fullest, like Stylebender, and then it just now we're in this new sphere of like being Asian's cool, you know?
Right.
Do you feel that? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think it's
You've
cool to
noticed
see
that
it
too, right?
Sure, yeah, and I think I like that I see a lot of that stuff on like,
same.
Yeah, in the media and
same.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's interesting too because like when we were more of them, like we are the global majority, but when we were the minority in Canada, right, with like less immigration, like back in the 2000s, we were all striving to be like skater kids, or like it was weird if you were like more urban, right? But then as time shifted and more cultures came in, like our tastes changed,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
Because you remember like when we were kids, it was all about being like hockey for you. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. Yeah.
Pop punk music for me, you know? Because we were trying to fit in. Because that was like the major narrative. And now that globalization's really kicked in, like a true futuristic artsy world is kind of coming to life. Like think about Akira.
Yeah.
Remember that like neo future?
Sure. Yeah. Right.
Neo Tokyo, Japan, right? And like that I kind of feel like that's where we're headed now. Like if you look at the fashion, it's weird now.
Hmm.
Like like uh like Kanye West's shoes that are actually like they look like socks.
Right.
That's some
Yeah.
weird futuristic. Like what are we doing here? You know?
Hmm.
And then like you have weird, clothes. Like it's hard to explain unless you like can see it for yourself. But
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Prada has like a weird fanny pack now that has like a little handle on the side, which is very futuristic. Like if you brought that back in like 2000, you'd be like, oh, that's like why do you have
Hmm.
those hanging things, right? But I think we're moving towards like a global culture, which is I'm gonna put my money down on it, which is like a hip hop slash Asian thing. Even think about
Sure.
electronic music. Those are like 808 dubstep. Like dubstep is
Hmm.
um like bass drum.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Yeah.
if
Yeah.
you put
Yeah.
like a rap beat and like a dubstep beat electronic, because electronic music is getting really popular because anybody can make it now, right? You don't have to play an instrument. You just need to chop things up.
Hmm.
That's a like a very hip hop thing,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
And then like neon lights, flashy clothes, like
Hmm.
that's kind of like an Asian neo-punk thing. And I really think that we are headed in that direction stylistically,
Sure. Yeah.
you know? You could see it, right? Like it's not like flannels and like we're all going hiking. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like that kind of culture. Because I'm like, that's my culture, my professional culture. So I see that all the time, and it's like I watch the development of this technological world, and then I see this like outdoorsy space trying to hold its own. But it's like, no, dude, it's going in this direction. We need to merge with them or something,
Sure.
or you're gonna be killed. You're
Yeah.
gonna be
Yeah.
left
Yeah.
in the dust.
Right.
You know what
Right.
I'm saying?
Hmm.
Unless do you see that is there like a
I think
movement towards like
I think it's a
flannels
mix.
and for
No,
sure, but
because
like
just talk
okay,
about flannels because that's what I got recently. So, but it was from
okay,
Uniqlo.
that's yeah, no,
So,
but that's like it's not like okay, no, but by flannel I don't mean like that because that's Uniqlo, yeah, they're just like
yeah.
it's just a style. I meant more like outdoorsy woodsman. Let me grow my beard out, get an axe, and like
I mean, I don't know. I think the beard thing is there though.
no, all right, no, obviously, all right, no, but it's a vibe. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
the woodsman
Sure. Sure.
versus
Sure.
like the cultural dude.
Yeah. 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 But I think that'll be the thing normally for in city because in city is where you've got
Ooh, touche. You're right.
mix of cultures,
I
right?
feel that. I feel okay. You're right. You're right. You're right. Actually, so the reason why I brought this up is because Michio Kaku brought this up. It's not my idea. He's just saying that we're moving towards a one world culture,
Hmm.
and that is he said like there's different steps before we become a spacefaring civilization. Okay,
Hmm.
and one of the steps that needs to happen is a global culture. And he said we're actually entering that now. And then Joe Rogan, Michio Kaku, if you want to listen to it, that's where I took this from. And Joe Rogan's like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Hip hop music, it's universal."
Hmm.
And I was like, "That's true." Like K-pop. Like I was in freaking Pacific Mall yesterday, and then I was listening to like this hip hop, and I was like, "Oh, it's a good song." And it turned out to be like some Koreans who were
Right.
like rapping, and I was like, "Oh, that's weird." But it's just like a style,
Hmm.
you know. And we're merging to this global style. But you're right though, because it's only in cities, but that's where people congregate like
Most people. Yeah.
like
Yeah.
right? Like a one world kind of thing, you know? And it's funny that you said that, the cities thing, because I've noticed that too. So you know that promo video that I had? I'm gonna put it up once it gets approved, but you know that
Hmm.
like I sent it to you guys and it's like
Yeah. I didn't think I see it. I haven't seen it yet.
oh damn. It's the traveler guy.
Okay. Okay.
He like jumps up and okay.
I
You
didn't
still
watch
haven't
it,
watched
but
it.
yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so when you do watch it, I used so basically the premise of this idea is it's a black person who is in extraordinary places.
Okay.
Meaning like he traveled the world.
Right. Right.
He's like the outdoors is typically like a cisgendered white male. you
Hmm.
know, but he's like a black dude. It's like,
Sure.
oh, it's kind of weird. You know, he's like a forerunner in
Hmm.
this space, right? So when I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna make a promo video for this dude, right? So when I made it, I used "Family Ties"
Hmm.
by Kendrick Lamar and Baby Keem. When you hear it, it's like, oh, this is pretty sick. Like everyone I sent it to was like, this is an awesome video. But then I was like, I don't know if I'll actually get it off the ground because the people that are going to be watching it are thinking about that small city vibe. Like the vibe that I put on for this
Hmm.
guy is like, no, it's like
Urban.
a that's like such a negative term. Like it is urban, but that
No,
is a
but that's what they
negative
call it
term.
though.
That is, I know. That's what the higher ups call it. It's like it's a little too urban for me. I don't know, you
No,
know.
no, no.
But
Like urban cities, like there's an actual term for these things.
no, no, I know, but like it's almost direct. That was the joke I was making. That I was like, if I pass this promo video off, I might get it's a little too urban for me. And I'm like,
Okay.
oh, okay. Let me like change the song,
Right,
you
right,
know.
right.
But that is like that is where we're headed. But the people that are like that, like when you work with a national organization and stuff, or like something that's bigger than a city, you're dealing with people that have different lived experiences in small towns.
Sure.
So it's like when you see that, you're like, oh, that's jarring for me. But to us, we're all like, that's sick, bro.
Hmm.
Like everyone I showed it to is like living in a city,
Right.
you know, to get like their gauge. Like, is this sick? Is this not sick? And they're all like, oh, it's sick. So like, all right, let's pass it on through.
Hmm.
But my fear is that like the less globally minded perspective
Hmm.
is going to like, um,
Think carefully about it.
it-
Yeah.
yeah. And, but that's the point you made about like people who live in small cities, small town, not small cities, but like small towns. They're missing something about being disconnected from this global civilization.
Hmm.